Good afternoon, everyone. I am back today to make another soap. I have to apologize that I have not posted a video in a while. My son got hurt. It's been about 3 weeks ago now, and he got his arm broke. He broke both the bones in his forearm, and they were broken to the point where he needed to have surgery done to correct those. So I missed a whole week of work and was dealing with that. And then I got my first wholesale account, so I've been busy getting everything ready for that and just shipped that order off to her yesterday. So now I'm back in soap making mode because I have to refill my shelves. Okay, as you can see, I've already added my lye water, to which I added a pinch of Tussis Silk to this time. It's mixed with my hard oils, and we're going to finish getting those melted down. We'll add in our liquid oils and we'll get going. The fragrance I've chose for today is called Curved and Chiseled. It's from Nature's Garden Candle Supplies. It is a men's fragrance. I'm going to try to add some more men's scents to my lines because I do not have many. So I figured I would give this one a try. I'm going to color it today with Sapphire Blue from Prismatic Pigments and Midnight Oil from Prismatic Pigments, which will be a blue and gray theme. The gray is a lighter gray color, and I'm hoping that just the contrast I see from them in my containers, I'm hoping that it is a nice contrast in the soap, you know, and both the blue and the gray make for a nice color for men. A couple little pieces left in there, and then we can get our liquid oils mixed in and get blending. A small little piece of shea butter makes it easy to break it up and get it to dissolve in. Okay, I've got my liquid oils all measured out, and they have my kaolin clay and my coconut milk powder added to them. So we're going to get those added into the hard oil mix. Once again, as always, scrape your bowl as thoroughly as you can to get as much of that oil as possible. Yeah, with my son breaking his arm, he's kind of put an end to his baseball right now. I know I've said before he plays on a 13U travel baseball team, and he's a year younger than most of the kids. Him and his father right now are on their way home from their tournament today. He's still diligently going to practices and to the games and rooting on his team. I guess he figures, which is kind of a good thing he does, you know, if he can't be there to help him out in the field, he's going to be there to help him out by cheering him. Alright, now we can get the stick blended. Tap out your air bubbles. Wipe that up. Little air pocket got in there and popped it up out of my bowl. And I'll tell you what, with this fragrance oil, it's sitting here measured out in my little bowl. It just smells amazing. I wish I could put my finger on what cologne for men it is, because if I can pinpoint that down, or if any of you happen to know what Dupe Curved and Chiseled is for in a men's cologne, let me know, because it's a fragrance I'm going to buy for my husband to wear. for just an emulsification. So I am going to go ahead and divide it out, and that way I can stick blend in my colors and then the fragrance, and that gives me a little assurance that if this fragrance oil does accelerate, I'm not going to go to too thick of a trace to pour the design that I'm hoping I get. Just going to be another drop swirl. It's what I like doing. Turns out pretty nice in my soap, so I'm just going to go with that. And try to make as even portions of both colors. I'm thinking I possibly should have gotten my bigger containers out, but we'll make do. I just have to be careful with my stick blendings off. That bowl to the side. Bring back in my stick blender. Yeah, I'm going to have to be very careful. Okay, into the container with the stick blender already in it, I'm going to add the Midnight Oil because it is the lighter of my two colors. I will start with blending it first. Then into the other is going to be my Sapphire Blue. Just look how gorgeous of a blue that is. I'm going to start with a small amount because I'm not sure what it's going to look like in soap, and I can always add more if I need to, where I can't take it away if I get it too dark. So let's get this one going and get you back in frame where you can see what I'm doing. Pop those air bubbles. And get all that mica off of the side and make sure to get it all blended in, that way I don't have any streaks or clumps of the gray color once I pour. And I'm going to go ahead and add half my fragrance oil to this while I'm blending it. So far this fragrance oil is behaving beautifully. Not getting any acceleration, no ricing, nothing like that. I don't know if this fragrance oil discolors, but with my color choices, I don't think that will be too bad of an issue for me. Okay, well, just at light trace, which will be perfect to allow me to pour my drop swirl. So I'm going to scrape off my stick blender and we'll move on to the blue. And as always, and you'll see at the end, make too much batter for my mold. I just always add a few extra ounces of my oils and everything over what my recipe does call for, or not my recipe, I should say, what my mold calls for. That way I can pour it off into other molds and I have soap for my family to use. I think my husband is going to be extremely happy with this fragrance. Tap these air bubbles out again. Keep my cord out of the way. I think I am in love with this blue. I'm going to add just a tiny touch more to brighten it up just a smidge. There we go. And let's go ahead and add in the rest of our fragrance oil. That there blender. Get every bit of it in there. Okay, set that aside now. This soap, being that it's a man soap, when I finish the top, it will be a plain top. There will be no glitter added to it. Men do not like glitter on their soap. And I'm going to start scaling down the amount of glitter I use anyway. It's only on the surface of my soaps, you know, for appeal, eye appeal. And usually within the first 1 or 2 times of using your bar soap, the glitter completely washes off of it. But there's some people, yeah, women included, that do not like glitter. Thin trace with that one as well, so we can clean off the stick blender and get this in a mold. And the mold I'm using today is a new mold. I've made soap once or twice in, twice actually I think. It makes for a wider bar of soap than my regular loaf molds, but for a man, yeah, it's a bigger bar. It fits good in their hands, and I've had my husband test the soaps that I've made with it, and he said he actually likes the way it feels in his hands better than my regular loaf mold. And let me give this a quick rinse. There we go. I can sit this all out of the road. Okay. Whoops. Just bring that over the edge. Grab that real quick. Like I said, these containers are quite full, so I've just got to be a little bit more careful so I get some of it poured off. So I get my spatula scraped off and lay those to the side. Mold in here and let's get it in frame. There we go. I think that'll work well. Okay, I'm going to start with my blue, get a layer of that going. Do a drop of my gray. And I'm just going to continue doing this and intermittently tapping it down until we get it filled. Put down the sides of my containers every once in a while so I get all that in there. That is, excuse the tapping. Has to be done to get those air bubbles out. Now, before I get to the finishing up the top layer, I'm going to tap this on the floor where I can get all the air bubbles out well. Alright, there we go. Finish off this top. Solid blue. Hopefully I have enough of that. Doesn't have to be 100% solid because we are gonna swirl our gray into the top of it, but I do want to make sure I get as much of the swirl gray covered as I can. Quick tap down, deliver that, and let me grab a skewer, which I did not get out with me. Alright, now I'm going to take my gray and I'm just going to drizzle it across the top. Randomly, no rhyme or reason to it. Other than making a big mess. I always keep a little bit of the blue aside if I do a solid top before I do my swirls, because that way if I get too much of the gray color in it, then I can go ahead and add some of the blue back in. Let's just give this a swirl. The swirl will give it just a bit of a textured top. Add a little bit more of the blue. Some parts. And now add a little bit more of the gray as well. more gray. I do not plan out my tops unless I'm doing a pipe top. That way, whatever happens with it happens. Okay. Look at it from this angle. I'm thinking I'd still like a touch more gray. I mean, I do love that blue, but I want you to be able to see decently both colors that are used in this soap reflected in the top of it. There we go. I think that reflects a nice dark sultry color for men. So there you have it, curved and chiseled soap with prismatic pigments, and I will bring you back tomorrow and attach the cutting video. Thank you for watching. Hi everyone, we're back this evening to cut my curved and chiseled soap. So let's get going. Little end slice. See, there we go. And now on to my regular bars. I'm loving that contrast that I got between that blue and that gray. Let me see if I can make this lighting better for you. Oops. No, we're going to need that on. Okay. Well, let's just keep on slicing then. Nice. Pretty shade of blue, pretty shade of gray. I would have cut this a little bit earlier, but we had to take my son to his doctor for, he wanted to do another x-ray to see how his arm was healing up, make sure the steel plates that he had to put in didn't shift, and he got the okay that everything's going great, and in about 3 weeks he will have his cast off, so he's happy about that. Pretty. Colors work wonderful for a man's soap. Time to firm up a bit more before I do cleanup on them. I know some people do cleanup right away on them. I prefer to wait till they're just a bit firmer. And that'll be it for this one. chiseled soap cut. I will get it attached to the making video and get this posted for you. Thanks for watching.